Yep. It is a beautiful day in the collapse of global industrial civilization. Hey guys, we're gonna have a little walk and talk with my ghetto gimbal here from Walmart. Yes, that was a house with their front kerosene lamps burning in the middle of the day. Because that's why we can't have nice things, folks. It is undoubtedly a boomer in there who thinks that God gave them all the right to burn all the resources on the planet. So I think today was a rather significant day in mainstream media, if any of you have been paying attention, but basically on Morning Joe and CBSM and all the mainstream networks, they all covered climate change. It was actually quite shocking. I don't know if anyone can realize on those channels that changing our entire energy infrastructure in our lifetime would be a completely different world. It wouldn't be jackasses burning kerosene lamps or NASCAR races. How is NASCAR even still a thing? I don't want to go down it. My point of this talk was this was a significant moment in our history because not only that, but you have the 46th president of the United States, of the free world, saying publicly with New York's world leaders, no less, that climate change is an existential threat. It's here, and it's a code red for humanity. I mean, that major 180 turnaround from the previous presidency. Should we go there? Do we want to talk about that? But more so, it's so front and center now. And they were talking about on this Morning Joe show that these insurance agents are paying out, oogles of paychecks. I'm gonna find a place to sit here. And the damages are adding up, the costs. And basically the time's out. And you have the president of the free world saying, this is code red for humanity. And at this point, if you hear that, if you hear the leader of the free world say that, and you still don't think climate change is a problem, or it's not gonna impact you in your nice big house here, then you're straight up a fucking moron. You're straight up a fucking moron. If you can't project out a few years, like I said, it's just to that limit. I have very little tolerance now if you can't even be considerate or caring of your own future, of your own right to exist. Clearly we're not going to make it, and no one is safe. And it's just sad. I live near a campus, and I don't have any footage of I went on a pretty intense run through campus this morning, got a lot of eyes, I'm sure. What's this crazy blonde man running around campus? Full speed. I was hauling ass, and I'm still walking. Anyways, how much propaganda do you need to put an entire young generation of people in school, thousands of dollars in debt, lying to them that they have some sort of future? It's very disheartening. Very disheartening. I'm gonna try to find a place to sit here. That looks like a good spot. I found this big epic tree to stand by. I was watching some Radio Eco Shock this morning, and I learned from this Brian Stone, I forgot the name, I feel bad, but he studies the impact of heat stress on cities. And heat, unlike hurricanes and other natural disasters, is the most deadly. And it is a very, very high likelihood. We all know that power grids will collapse. Is a very high reasonable degree chance of that happening. And it actually gets hotter inside houses. Yeah, places like Phoenix, Chicago, they don't have cooling centers that are on backup generators, which is insane. And we're looking at heat events in the next few years that are just going to be a mass casualty event. And what was it, Dale Wolver or Abyss Man? I like you guys. One of you said you were going to live just long enough to see everything collapse and see the look on Republicans' faces. Republicans don't care about us at all. They want us to get herd immunity. They want us to all get sick. They have no concern or care for the environment, even when it's wrecking the cities that they're in. which is just absolutely insane. So, it is certain that we're going down a ice-free Arctic. We're going to see mass casualty death events. And the last thing I wanted to cover is my reaction to these things. Again, a significant moment in like climate history, like political climate action talk is happening right now, leading up to Glasgow, which I don't have high hopes for. But the point is, let's try to get the last topic I want to cover is my feelings or my reaction to seeing mass casualty death events, whereby which tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are dying, grids are going down. This is within the next 8 to 9 years. I'm no holds bar about it, by the way. I went on a run, like I said, on campus, and one girl on the way back, like 20, decided to be courageous and asked me, "How am I doing today?" While I was running by her with a smile. I said, "Surviving." I was kind of in shock. Then I turned and I said, I don't care anymore. I was like, "Hey, sweetheart, you got 8 years from climate change. You got 8 years left. Look it up." She didn't turn around and look back at me, but it's the greatest crime of all time that we're not telling children the truth about where their life is going, especially when they get even to my age. But look, what I wanted to talk about was my feelings about these sorts of events. Sorry for all the ADHD. I'm kind of moving around a lot. The best analogy I can make is my experience in ophthalmology. And I was trained in assisting in LASIK and cataract surgery. And I could bore you with the gory details of what LASIK looks like. But essentially, that's what's happening to us. We're peeling back the outer layer, epithelial layer of our cornea, and we're ablating the surface, fundamentally changing the build of the eye. Like when it regrows back, it grows back to see 20/20. Unfortunately, that's where the metaphor stops, because we're peeling back humanity and burning the surface of like ants. And the point is that even though I assisted in the procedure a couple thousand times, and I knew what it involved, and I knew how, gruesome, let's say that's the word, it is. It's a highly controlled environment and sanitized, but it didn't make it any less anxiety-inducing going through the procedure myself. So I had LASIK. I used to wear glasses, believe it or not. I see 20/20 now. I see great. But laying there on the operating table, despite giving Xanax and other calming medications, it was still a little nerve-wracking, but I knew what to expect. And it was more entertaining than anything after the first few seconds, seeing like flashing colors because they're shooting a laser in your eye. And that's what 2028 will look like. That's what 2030 will look like. It'll be this gruesome event that I've played out in my head so many times, inadvertently in studying climate science and putting all the pieces together, that witnessing it actually in real life will be nothing short of awe-inspiring, disastrous. How many words come to mind? It's going to be something else. And boy, after all that I've talked and studied about it, this gives me a reason to live. I have to stick around to see this happen. I have to see us faceplant from decades of greed and psychopathy, sociopathy, just pure evil, the greatest crime of all time. Dr. Peter Carter is the man. We're going to live to see it. We're going to live to see it. Okay, gang. Just a little walk and talk. Doomer pep talk. Keep it real. Follow along, hit subscribe if you haven't. I'll talk to you later. Peace.